Did you get any feedback from your friend Alex?
Not yet. She had to leave, remember the surgery at the piano.
Oh, okay.
Need a second?
I know Susan Monda said she's coming, so we'll have more people in person, I think.
Okay, you're on.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is the afternoon here in Hoboken, New Jersey. Welcome to Art with Liz, starting as always with a major thank you to the Hoboken Public Library for allowing us to have these hybrid art classes. Welcome to folks on YouTube and Zoom, as well as welcome to those of you who are here in person. We are in the month of December 2025, and the theme that I have chosen for this month is artists who use bright colors in their work. And I've chosen that theme because December on the East Coast of the United States is usually a dark and gloomy month weather-wise, and today is no exception. We are teetering on the edge of either a rain or snowstorm coming our way this afternoon. The artist we're going to look at this afternoon, there is no doubt that she enjoys color. Her name is Yayoi Kusama. She is a Japanese American artist. She was born, I'm thrilled to state, on my birthday, March 22nd, but she's a tiny bit older than me. She was born in the year 1929. She is primarily a painter, but she does do extraordinary sculpture and installation art as well. She also does performance and video art, and she has started her own fashion business on top of all the other things she's done in her life. Her work is, I guess you could call it conceptual art, and she does show aspects of feminism, minimalism, surrealism, and pop art, as well as some abstract expressionism in her work. There's definitely autobiographical and psychological and even sexual content in her work, and I will be talking about all those influences while showing a slideshow of her work. I like to do a slideshow of our artists that focuses work first, because I believe it will inspire you in your own artistic creativity today. So slideshow will be first, then I will offer a few projects that you can engage in, inspired by our artist today, Yayoi Kusama. And here we go. I'm gonna share the slideshow, and I can't wait to hear what folks have to say about her work. We have looked at her work before. I don't know if we've looked at her work here at the library, but we also have another art class here in Hoboken that meets on Tuesdays. And I know we've looked at her work there.
Yes.
And here we go. She was raised in Matsumoto, trained at the Kyoto City University of Arts in a traditional Japanese painting style. She was inspired, however, by American abstract impressionism. She moved to New York City in 1958 and was part of the New York avant-garde scene throughout the 1960s, particularly the pop art movement. And she loved hippie culture, counterculture in the late 1960s. She really embraced in a big time the hippie movement, and she gained prominence in her happenings. So she would hold happenings where she and the participants would dance around naked. She liked to paint herself and the people who came to these events with dots. She is obsessed with dots. I'm going to talk more about that. I don't want to jump the gun on this. I'm going to explain exactly why dots play a prominent role in her work. But she has a mental illness and she's very open about sharing her mental health and the issues with her mental health. She has these images of dots, which she calls infinity nets, and she uses her art to fight her pain, her anxiety. And here's a quote: I fight, and this is directly from Yayoi herself, I fight pain, anxiety, and fear every day. And the only method I have found that relieve my illness is to keep creating art. I followed the thread of art and somehow discovered a path that would allow me to live. So here is an artist who deliberately uses art to overcome her own fears and anxiety. Art can heal. It is an actual mechanism, an actual tool that anyone and everyone can tap into to overcome mental stress. And maybe not overcome totally, but at least alleviate mental stress. She grew up in a family of merchants. They owned a plant nursery and a seed farm. And she started drawing at a very young age. She particularly loved drawing pumpkins. And she created artwork from hallucinations that she started having when she was young as well. And these drawings became the defining imagery of her work later in life. Her mother did not support her in her work and, in fact, discouraged her from doing drawings. Her mother was quite abusive, sometimes even physically abusive to her. Her father, unfortunately, was a womanizer, and her mother employed Kusama as a spy and forced her to follow and watch her father in his sexual activities. Consequently, she said she didn't like sex and she had horrible obsessive fears about sex, including fantastic visions, she said, associated with her traumatic childhood. And she says they are the origins of her artistic style. When she was 10 years old, she started experiencing these vivid hallucinations that she describes as, quote, flashes of light, auras, or dense fields of dots. And some of the triggers for these hallucinations were patterns in fabrics that if she stared at, they would come to life and start multiplying. And she felt that they were expunging her or engulfing her. She called that process, which she carried into her artistic career, as, quote, self-obliteration. She used her art to escape from her family and her own mind while she was having the hallucination. And look at what it's helped her to create. Talk about color. And you can see the prevalence, the prominence of the dots, and certainly repetition of pattern and shape in her work. Everyone, whether you're on Zoom or here in person, feel free to call out or speak about your impressions of her work. Her somebody said, wow, can you explain why you had that strong reaction? I'm not sure who said that, but
It's like op art, but it seems very, you have the mushroom shape, it's very organic. Yeah. So that even though partly the colors are too vivid to be real, but maybe she's seeing a reality that we don't notice. You know, that she talked about hallucinations, but she experiencing things as a pattern, to find a pattern when other people don't see it.
okay.
She almost makes it on a cellular level, like you were looking through a microscope and looking at things. I mean, in her brain, that's how she sees these things. And they are
Okay.
organic.
And don't you love the movement in this? They seem to be dancing. So she uses repetition and the way she tilts the objects in a way that's very active and exciting. And again, color is extraordinary. Her childhood was also greatly influenced by war. She grew up during World War II. She remembers American B-29s flowing overhead in broad daylight. Air raid sirens were going off all the time when she was a child. She felt that her adolescence was, quote, enclosed in darkness. And when she was studying the traditional Japanese style of art, she was very uncomfortable doing that kind of work. She found it suffocating and frustrating. And she became interested in European and American avant-garde art. She did have her first of many solo exhibitions in the 1950s in Matsumoto and Tokyo. So she was gaining some notoriety and success in her early days in Japan. She used watercolor, gouache, and oil paint, mainly on paper, and she began covering walls and floors and canvases and household objects and naked assistants with polka dots. And these dots started becoming a trademark in her work. She called them infinity nets, and they were taken directly from her hallucinations.
You said that she was creating fashion, but
that came later.
Patterns in housewares, I believe, that she did like.
Her fashion house does clothing, I think houseware,
Yeah.
everything. Yes, but that came later. Tablecloths, I think she produces bags. She does that in New York now. Yeah, she said, one day I was looking at the red flower patterns of the tablecloth on a table, and when I looked up, I saw the same pattern covering the ceiling, the windows, and the walls, and finally all over the room, my body and the universe. I felt as if I had begun to self-obliterate, to revolve in the infinity of endless time and the absoluteness of space, and be reduced to nothingness. As I realized it was actually happening and not just in my imagination, I was frightened and I knew I had to run away lest I should be deprived of my life by the spell of the red flowers. I ran desperately up the stairs. The steps below me began to fall apart and I fell down the stairs, spraining my ankle. So these hallucinations became very real to her. So at the age of 27, she left Japan for the United States. And she said at that time that she considered Japanese society to be too small, too servile, and too feudalistic and too scornful of women. Initially, she moved to Seattle. And at that time, I mentioned this in this morning's class, she started a relationship with Georgia O'Keeffe. She wrote her a letter saying that she wanted to become famous and join the limelight of the art world in New York City. And she wrote Georgia O'Keeffe, hoping that she would give her advice. And lo and behold, O'Keeffe responded, and they started sending each other letters. And I don't know if we could call it a friendship, but they definitely had a correspondence. This is one of my favorites.
Oh,
I love the composition of this one, that solid yellow large dot in the middle. You can see how growing up on a seed farm was a huge influence for her because so many of her shapes look plant-like. So many of the lines and shapes and even colors, to me, read like plant or animal forms, things that you might see amongst growing living things. Beautiful colors. Now, that yellow circle in the middle wouldn't work if those yellow dots weren't there on the left. So that's genius, the way she uses color. She just somehow knew that she had to do that in order to balance the composition. And the black outline and the black background also makes this a very powerful piece. In 1961, she came to New York and moved in with Donald Judd and sculptor Ava Hess. So they were pretty much minimalist artists. We talked about minimalism yesterday at the senior center. A minimalist artist believe that the material, the media that they're using is what the art is all about. And she did become influenced by them. At that point, she started creating soft sculpture. She literally started padding things that she found on the street.
think about cells.
Talk about cell life. These do look like single-celled animals with their little cilia protruding. This also reminds me of the movie My Neighbor Totoro, which is done by a great Japanese animator whose name I'm blocking at the moment.
Not Murakami.
He won an Academy Award for Best Picture,
Oh,
but he had these little black fuzzballs animated in the movie that were so fab. Anyway, I love this painting. And she did millions of paintings just like this, filled with little creatures and dots. Obviously an obsession with her.
I think she had synesthesia.
Also, which means she felt colors.
Yeah, well, a lot of their, let's say,
Yeah. So during the following years, from the 60s onward, she was enormously productive. And by 1966, she was creating these room-sized freestanding installations in which she used mirrors, lights, and piped-in music. And she's become quite famous for these infinity mirror installations. The last show she had here in New York City was at the Whitney, in which she had an enormous infinity room. People lined up for blocks just to get in. You went to see it, Susan, I think?
No, I got.
Maybe it was Esty.
Yeah, I didn't, I missed it.
I did not go to see it. I heard it was amazing.
Yeah.
At this point in the late 60s, O'Keeffe started helping her financially because she wasn't making the amount of money she needed in order to survive. And she threatened suicide. And O'Keeffe, who struggled with her own mental problems, convinced an art dealer, her own art dealer, to purchase several works of Kusama's to help her out. She started with the outlandish happenings on the Brooklyn Bridge and other places in the village to protest the Vietnam War. She even wrote an open letter to Richard Nixon offering to have sex with him if he would stop the Vietnam War. She was an amazing person, quite honestly. And during her time in New York, she had a brief relationship with the artist Donald Judd. She also began a passionate but platonic relationship with the surrealist artist Joseph Cornell, whom we've talked about in other classes. And that friendship lasted until his death in 1972. She continued the series of Mira Infinity Rooms. She's still making them. This is part of her pumpkin series. So she is also obsessed with pumpkins. And she also has created several pumpkin sculptures, including ones that she created for a show that she did at the New York Botanical Gardens that I did actually see, and that was incredibly awesome. In 1973, she returned in ill health to Japan, where she started writing. She did a lot of poetry, novels, and short stories, very shocking, surrealistic novels. And then in 1977, she checked herself into a hospital for the mentally ill. She took up permanent residence there. This was of her own free volition, and she still lives there and has been producing work. Her studio is a short walking distance from the hospital. And she's often quoted as saying, "If it were not for art, I would have killed myself a long time ago."
This is in Japan.
She lives in this mental hospital in Japan. However, when she left New York, she was almost forgotten until the 80s and 90s when there were several international retrospectives of her work. One in New York at the Center for International Contemporary Arts, and then at the Japanese Pavilion at the Venice Biennale in 1993, where she had a mirrored room filled with small pumpkin sculptures. And she lived there in this room, and the Biennale goes from May until November. So she lived there in a color coordinated pumpkin sculpture costume covered in black dots. The pumpkin came to represent for her a kind of alter ego or self-portrait. Isn't this one's just amazing? So you know it's a pumpkin, but just barely, right? And when you stand in front of this, I have seen this in person at the retrospective of her work at the Whitney. It just is mind-boggling. Now, I believe she still continues to do most of her work on her own without assistance. There's a lot of dots in this picture, thousands and thousands of dots. So her work is very labor intensive. Some are small, some are huge. So she is in her 9th decade. She continues to work. She continues to make the mirrored rooms.
How big is this? you know?
This one is small, I'm pretty sure. I don't know the exact dimensions, Rose. So she's exhibited everywhere in New York, of course, Tel Aviv, Europe. She immerses her whole self into her work. Infinite repetitive works. They were originally meant to eliminate Kusama's intrusive thoughts, but she now shares it with the world. And this is according to a critic, her mirror exhibits are able to, quote, transport you to quiet cosmos, to a lonely labyrinth of pulsing light, or to what could be the enveloping innards of a leviathan with the measles. I love that. In 1968, Kusama established Kusama Fashion Company Limited, selling avant-garde fashion in the Kusama Corner at Bloomingdale's. In 2009, she designed a handbag-shaped cell phone entitled Handbag for Space Travel, My Doggy Ring Ring, a pink dotted phone in accompanying doggy-shaped holder, and a red and white dotted phone inside a mirror dotted box dubbed Dots Obsession Full Happiness with Dots. Each phone was limited to 1,000 pieces. So I'm going to go through the slideshow really quickly now. I believe this is one of her bigger ones, and they are huge. I mean, wall size, mural size, totally filled with dots. Big ones, little ones, teeny, 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 teeny ones that you can't really see in this image. They're so infinitesimally small. Sometimes you can actually see things, but these faces are made up of dots. They're not solid. I like this one. Even the busyness of them doesn't detract from them. They somehow work. They definitely are hallucinatory, right?
Did she ever get into hallucinogenics, or was it you said
No.
she started hallucinating as a child?
I don't think so. I mean, she was a hippie, so maybe I don't know the answer to that question, Rose. Sorry.
Hallucinating.
Yeah.
As a child, yes. I mean, she might have done psychedelics. I don't know. Somebody could look that up. I think this is meant to be a self-portrait.
Yes.
She often wears these bob wigs, frequently brightly colored.
Yeah.
And what she wears is part of her art. Like Frida Kahlo, remember Frida Kahlo dressed as an art form. What she wore was part of her art expression. And the same could be said about Kusama. What she wears is deliberately chosen to express her art.
The background is amazing.
The background is just amazing. It looks like real lace, right? But it's painted. So this is one of her mirror rooms. And the floor is covered with water in order to amplify, and the ceiling has the mirror. And the water in the mirror amplifies the power of the whole thing because what's the word I'm looking for? It's reflected over and over and over again, like a house of mirrors at an amusement park.
So if you go to this, you walk in the water? Or
I have never been inside one, but I believe there are places with walkways that you can walk or walk past. You know, there are alleyways where you can walk past and through the entire exhibit. But most of the floor is covered with water. I think this may be the last slide. I'm not sure. No. Oh, so this is a mirrored room with globes and water on the floor and mirrored ceiling. And the globes are also glass, but with perforations and lights inside so that the dots of the lights are reflected in the water and the mirrors on the ceiling. So it's an infinity of dots, light dots. I wish I could have seen this one. And there is someone standing. Do you see the person? She has black pants, a white shirt, and long black hair.
Yeah.
So this one you could walk through. Beautiful, right?
Because if you walk through, the water would be disturbed, but it would change the whole.
Yeah, maybe this one has a glass floor and not water. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's a wonderful concept.
That's the last one. All right. Any thoughts, comments? I do encourage folks, if you are suffering from these kind of obsessions, hallucinations, suicidal thoughts, there is help. Art being one avenue of a way to help yourself, but there are professionals out there that can help you. All right. So for today, our project, even if you're in a good mood, which I hope you are, the irony of her work is it comes from a dark place for her. But for me, it brings joy. When I look at her work, I feel joyful and happy. I mean, again, I Googled artists who use color in a celebratory way, and her name came up second. George O'Keeffe, number one. Yayoi Kusama, number two. And when I look at her work, it makes me happy. Here are your assignment choices for today. I'm going to put up a Kusama picture that you can copy. You can create your own composition. Take a piece of paper, draw shapes, triangles, circles, rectangles. Fill them with dots. I have brought in, so those are your two choices. Either copy a Kusama, you can look at the picture on the screen or find one on your smartphone or your desktop or your laptop at home. Or you can create your own composition of shapes. I would recommend you use, limit yourself to 2 or 3 shapes or just one. You saw that beautiful image she had with just ovoids and circular forms. Draw them lightly in pencil first. I would recommend they touch and overlap each other, fill the entire page, and then fill them with dots. Maybe choose one solid background color, like she chose black. Paint your larger shapes first, and then the dots on top. Here are the materials that I brought for people today, the media that you can use. Acrylic paint, and this morning people used acrylic paint and left what they didn't use for people to use up. And I'm asking that you use the poured out paint first. Let's not waste. There are colored pencils. There's watercolor paint. Regular pencils, there's some charcoal, and I believe that's, oh, and there's oil pastels. I would recommend the acrylic paint for this project. Draw first in pencil and do the completed work in acrylic. Are there any questions? All right, let's go to work then. Have fun. Not only does this work make me feel joyful, but when I attempt to do something in the style of Yayoi Kusama, I find it meditative and relaxing. So it was marvelous that it is marvelous. She's still with us. For her, that she's found this as a way to calm her own anxiety and overcome her own fears. All right, so I'm going to put up a picture for those of you who want to copy. Christy. Wouldn't it look great? You may have it. You're welcome. I'll let Spike know you have it. Oh, hi, Mary. Or Suzanne. Hi, Suzanne. So this one she didn't fill with dots, but little triangles. So similar but different. Do we like this one, or do you want me to choose one with more dots? Everyone like this image, or do you want me to put one up that's more dots?
I like Dottie's, but I don't, I'm
Okay.
looking on my phone, so. I'll put my name.
Well, but you're the only one who, there are dots in this, but it's not completely covered in dots. You're the only one who reacted, so I'm gonna change it.
I found a lot, she did a lot of cats. Aha. Oh, look, she did cats.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, looking online here.
I don't think I have a cat image.
There's a cocktail, I love it. That's adorable.
Here's a pumpkin.
She's got still lights, I mean, amazing.
Oh yeah, she has a lot of still life.
A lot of pumpkins. She even has shells. So prolific.
Oh my gosh, she is so obsessed.
Yeah, yeah.
She
yeah.
paints from morning till night.
Yeah, I mean, you know, OCD, synesthesia, you name it, she's got it.
Okay. All dots and only two colors. Similar to O'Keeffe, notice how she enlarges the form so that it really loses its subject.
Beautiful flowers.
So we have a little under an hour to have fun. I talked too long today, forgive me.
She's very interesting.
Well, there's so much to say about her. She's living a long life, so there's.
Yeah, she's even got,
Everybody's coming through for meditation. Excuse me. Actually, we have an hour. I thought it was a little later, but it's not.
Purple cat? Yeah. But isn't it? No, not that I keep on all the. Yeah. I just wanted to get first. No, I would like to come with the afternoon. Well. Yeah, like kept up this wall. Yeah. This will make it. I think now.
All right. As soon as you've all gotten started, I will come around to help. Oh, there's an environmental book club. So just a heads up, next Wednesday, there's only the morning class. People were asking me earlier today. And it looks like that may be the last class of the month. That doesn't make sense.
It might be from the holidays, there's a lot of, stuff going on.
No, but usually the morning of the 24th, I think the library's open. I will double check on that for everyone. I know we're having the double classes to make up for classes that we're missing.
I'm gonna do the cat today, but squash.
You could do cat with squash.
Cat with squash.
You could do a still life. So Laura, I went to the website. Is it correct that next week is our final class for December?
Yeah, because it's all. That's what I do.
Like,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We're closed, Christmas Eve on Wednesday.
Yeah.
is the library closed for the whole day?
Yes.
Okay, so next week then is our final,
17.
because the following Wednesday is New Year's Eve. Is the following Wednesday is the December 31st. I cannot believe it's the end of the year. That's some kind of craziness.
Oh, really? Or is it someone you call? No. Love it. Go for it, girl. Go for it.
All right.
Mine both. I could do one.
That we can keep. I love it though. I love her work. I've seen an interview with her recently, but knew about thoughts. I knew about her wigs and everything. This is a lot of information. We're talking about with O'Keefe's mental illness. What did mental illness did she have? Like,
She had several nervous breakdowns. What that entailed,
it was like in the time she was with Stiglitz or after.
Stiglitz was having an affair with another woman. She couldn't cope with that. She affected her deeply. And, I'm guessing it was probably depression. She couldn't work. And sort of mental. I think she was in and out of mental hospitals for a few years. And the good news about that was that she realized she loved New Mexico more than she loved New York.
There,
Oh, yeah, I think she did her best work when she lived out there. Unfortunately, it was only a few years later that she lost her vision.
but she was still creating.
Oh, she never stopped.
Yeah.
So the paintings that she created after that, she only did in watercolor and she did with the sisters.
Yeah.
Because she had peripheral. And when she met that young man, Juan Hamilton, she started doing pottery.
Yeah. You see that with creative people, even though one door closes, another opens, it's like some Beethoven with death, but he was still writing music. He was still hearing the music. So you don't give up.
Yeah, some people. I mean, there are some people who don't quite find a way. But some people are lucky. They certainly kept composing even after he did that.
Yeah, the Ninth Symphony.
Sorry, folks, this is my son. Gotta take this. Hello? One second.
Oh. Yeah.
What kind of puppy is good for something? He's a Pomeranian poodle. No, not Pomeranian. Something like that. It's very
Oh, yeah, it's adorable.
tiny and fluffy. Tiny, fluffy and white and very naughty. Very energetic. Listen to it. Oh. And Grandma loves him, but he doesn't love Grandma.
Okay.
He loves Mommy. Good for me, too. That's a great background color. No. I was wondering just about putting it this morning's picture really. Yeah, because a lot of that's not really. I want it to be bigger. Yeah. Maybe when you get home, make a big one. You can really put my house. But I don't have a gigantic paper, but I have a little something. You can take some paper from here. What's all the jeans in?
Yeah, it's a beautiful
They
thing.
know, they're so curious. It's beautiful. It is cute. Not yet.
They're all different.
All different. Biggest experiences of my life, my school paid for me to go on a 2-week-long whale watch. That's great. So, in Boston.
Wow. Is your son going to fundraise? It's in this. Oh, because there's a,
It's on
for the
now.
shelter.
Even I'm watching.
I don't know, I should ticket to go to. Definitely was from 7 to 10. This one, I'm gonna go. So I'm taking care of the parking. And she works maybe 3, so.
There's a volunteer party, so they're.
Yeah, yeah. Weird, there's a lot of stuff going on tonight. Fun.
Anyone who's interested, I can send you the link, but I'm part of a panel discussion with Food and Water Watch on Zoom tonight about what it's like to be a volunteer. Being a volunteer.
Where?
Like that thing you looked at in the slideshow, but like the single cell animals. Remember? The one with the little black fuzzy creature. Oh, you can look up my neighbor's photo of the director or artist with Miyazaki, isn't that his name?
How do you spell that?
Look at it up.
Looking it up. With my neighbor.
Neighbor. Totoro is Totoro.
Totoro.
It's made in 1988. And the film he won the Academy Award for, it's called, I forgot. Yeah, the director and animator is Hayao Miyazaki. He's good.
How do you spell that?
Yeah, that. Miyazaki is Miyazaki.
Give it a thought.
And oh, I remember the name of the movie that won the Academy was
Allergies.
Howl's Moving Faster.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
You've seen it? Isn't it
I
really?
know about it. I have not seen it and I want to see it.
It's really cool. Yes, I can pass away recently, unfortunately.
It's really about it. He's did a lot of stuff. I have my nephew and his wife are big into anime, whatever.
Anime, yeah.
Japanese cartoons. Okay.
His animation is so real looking, though. Uncanny. Yeah, his artwork is just beautiful. And he has a whole studio in his studio. Employs hundreds of people. It's like Disney, Japan. Oh, actually, it's called Ghibli Films. That's right. Ghibli Films. It's not- I'm Spirited Away.
But he did how
Oh, yeah. Definitely. say anything about Academy Award for House and so let's look at Spirited Away.
Spirited Away, tell me. You know, you're.
Yeah, so Spirited Away is the one who won the Academy Award. Spirited Away.
Spirited Away. I think they have that upstairs. They also might be on the floor. There's a lot of stuff.
Spirited Away. I forget which one creeped me out. It was either House Moving Castle. I think it was Spirited Away. That's the one that has all the witches. Humans changed into beasts. It's creepy. Beautiful. It's just beautiful artwork. Yeah, it's about a girl trapped in the spirit world. Movie? Yeah, you can, it's on HBO Max. You know that. In 2001. He was another genius, I think. Oh, Miyazaki is not dead. Despite some older misleading articles, like one from October 2025, that seem to be tributes to a hypothetical past. He is currently 84 years old. And just released the film The Boy and the Heron. But
How do you spell it?
his last name is spelled Miyazaki. He is a here, Wikipedia said, oh, Katsuki Miyazaki died on March 15th, 1994.
That's
Totally different guy.
Different.
wonder if she paints her dots with special brushes, because the circles are so perfect.
I know.
Maybe she uses erase.
Something like that.
She uses glue and yeah, or stencil. She might have punch out stencil. Everything I've read about her, she paints the dots.
She may use other implements. I know some painters use knives and whatnot. Or some people use the heart handle. I've seen them turn it around and they'll use the handle. I'm using the handle scrapes.
And don't you love in this painting how the top pumpkin looks like it's going to crush the one on the bottom?
I like the vine, there's a racing behind it.
Yes.
It looks like a basket or a mesh net, like it's in a
It's part of the infinity net.
When I do my dark, that's all.
And I love, the more I look at this, the more I see. I love, there's like a yellow line here at the base of this pumpkin. It's very distinct when you're far away,
I see.
and a line around the stem.
Uh-huh.
Oof, when you get up close, it really hurts. Smell it fresh.
I have one here. I have.
Now, I will tell you this. The more control if you hold push. But then you have to handle it. Is it relaxing? You do all the time you work to relax.
My fingers.
Going. And this. Very nice. Think about whether you want to continue the dots or fill this in with solid. Because you have all this solid.
Yeah,
You might want to have something solid to balance it. Or a little different. And even if you fill it in solid, you can put dots on top if you need more dots. Yeah, that's always hard. That I can't help. This is kind of right up your alley. This green thing too. Always, I've given everybody the same direction. Everybody does something so completely different. That's why I noticed the paint and sip kind of classes. You get to create something complete and finished, but everyone's looks the same.
Yeah.
I don't get. I mean, that's not art.
Yeah, I went into the building there, they have this picture and everybody does the same exact picture.
Well, that's the object of the
Yeah,
dance.
exactly.
They measured against how eccentrically acting.
I mean, I'm not putting that down because
A lot of people like doing it.
people like it and it's a satisfaction, but what bothers me is when it's called art.
Or abstract.
Mine, I'm so sure. I promise I bring my electric crosses in.
Is there anything?
There are men who are employers.
Do they work?
Yeah. This one used to be the best. But I have a problem.
No, I'm decorating, and I started something in the last group, and then I'm adding dots. I'm just decorating. It started looking like something in shaped. I like the way the two ladies are so connected. I really wish you could have seen one of those mirror rooms. That was fantastic.
There'll be more. I'm sure there'll be another. Maybe one of
Your mom doesn't have any of the pieces?
the mirror installations
So huge.
are difficult. Yeah, they're very well.
It's a bad dog. Remember that was it?
No, I did not go to that one. It was in my aunt's house.
Never forget.
I'm a movie star.
It's one of my favorite. Double plus.
You know, she comes in too.
I have it all every which way.
Fabulous.
He went Jamie's, he did really good.
Yeah, he had to do something.
He's working on a new piece, right, he said?
Yeah, a bunch of them. Although, yeah,
Can you make the box or no?
yeah, I think he finished that. I don't know, he's working on.
Working on something last week.
He's very fast. He works all night at home when he's working on something.
Yeah. He's good. He practices. Did he ever take classes?
Did he ever take classes? Very few back years ago. He self-taught. Pretty much. I should put my glasses on.
time I saw Kusama's work, it was by accident. I don't know why, I went to the Whitney or something else, and it was her, she's like,
Wow.
oh, she's amazing. Just couldn't believe it. So the big ones. And it's installation. I don't understand how people get to that place, even if they do that. It's just going, well, she apparently can't help. Stalkers. Oh, that's just so think political. Okay. Sorry for this. No words. I have no words. It's really good. Feel that, you know. Friends are going to Japan in March. You're going to Japan? No, I'm not. My sister and my brother are going there, friends. Nice. Yeah. Well, one of their friends' daughters living in Japan, teaching English. Nice. Okay, first. She turned me on to the cartooning stuff. Yeah, right. Yoko's going with them too. Yeah. Yeah. The same group of friends. She has a friend in town. So she's not. Well, stabilization of the whole world. Yeah.
Fresh.
Good.
That's the thing. The moment it's looking like the skyline. Maybe it's skyline. More big. You need some more big dots. More big dots.
Big that, oh, I was using squares to make triangles. Good.
Have them touch each other too. Have them touch each other also and relate to each other. And so not just float. Are you using Q-tip? Yeah, she may use Q-tip. But yeah, she gets used to this already. How much time do we have? Oh, not much.
Okay.
We got 4 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, folks.
I'm not gonna waste this page.
Do you want to share or do you want to keep working? If we keep working, you'll have more time.
I wanna keep working.
It's a small group. If you don't want to share, that's fine. You want to keep working?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the majority height. All right, if we keep working, I can give you
A little bit more time.
a little bit, I can give you almost 10 more minutes. I don't know if we have another program, if it was more done already. if at the end of class you still have a lot of acrylic paint in your box, I invite you to take it with you.
I will,
Yeah. I hate seeing it washed down the sink.
yeah,
It's a waste.
no,
I
I,
don't have the lids, unfortunately.
okay, I can carry it. Not gonna do the dots until everything dries.
No, that's why. Laura, is there another program after? Okay, so 5 more minutes and we'll start.
Yeah. I should have started with It's cold. I think there's much fun that kind of actually once you, I think you can let it, you can still do it. Let me get back. You know, I don't think you want to pick on.
Very nice, very, very, very nice.
Okay, this is something else that is. We'll get the lid.
Or that's at the bottom, make it a little heavier, way more.
Yeah, put it on the bottom here. And
Do that.
next week.
Yeah. Okay, it looks like it's underwater, for real.
The cross
Yeah.
between the teeth and
But then you're doing double, but nothing.
I can't wait to do the dots, I like doing dots.
are you gonna use your paint markers to go down?
I might.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's interesting because I have nail polish.
Has it started raining?
Oh, is that what it's, oh, yes. I don't know. It's going out at night when it's raining.
You wanna wait a minute for a little bit? Get on top of that. So, you know, the problem.
It could be simple, skills person. I know it's a budgetary thing. So my mother always said it doesn't hurt to act.
Yeah.
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 Things change and people don't know that things have changed.
Or you can double up if you do it every other week, you can split classes. Skip a week. You can go in there and-
Yeah, that's a thought.
Mhm. Yeah, think about it before every third.
Dramatically changed.
Another studio.
Yeah, think about it. No, seriously, think about it. When you go tomorrow, we're gonna sit down with the, send you the copy of the prospectus, but we would also have to look at, look in this room.
Right.
That would change it a bit, but I can't imagine it would be hard. Yes. Also, your students too. I mean, we would want to do that.
I think it's too late for this year, but we can follow.
But that, you could probably ask the students,
Yeah, I'm gonna do a survey.
maybe in a woman.
I was planning to do the survey for the month,
Okay.
because I feel like it's too late. But what I learned from the monthly survey, I started incorporating. Surveys aren't heroes, but there's always somebody. Some surveys. Hi, guys. It is time to clean up, I'm so sorry. Maintenance stuff, you have to go home. Yeah, I've given you more than 5 minutes.
Hey, the table box.
Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
like it.
it'll get finished at home.
You're gonna
That's
use
what
the
you can do, everybody hold up
Yeah.
your picture.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do the dot, yeah.
Counting to 3, 1, 2, 3, hold up your.
Okay.
I love your,
Okay.
look at her,
Mine is white.
look at
My
my
daughter.
daughter. Is
My
that not
daughter-
beautiful?
Great.
Oh, wow,
That's
that's great. Beautiful.
And tomorrow, last year, you can see tomorrow, Rose, where's yours?
It's on the bottom of the pile.
Show here.
Show
Alright,
mine.
we're all showing off our work.
There's a lot of stuff.
I love it.
That one is lovely on the sixth diagram.
Oh, here's that class, everyone.
Hold it up.
You're welcome.
You got pumpkin.
All done. Mark.
Let's see tomorrow.
Tomorrow today.
Tomorrow
today.
Oh,
that's
my.
more too. Oh, I love it.
Oh, but I what are you doing there? That's like an escape in London.
Rose is talking to you, Donna.
It looks like a nice escape in London. Drawing it was something or blackbird. I just.
All right, now we have to clean up the house.
Like the top and the bottom, like the lake thing.
Oh, yeah.
Cute there on the bottom.
Yeah, I tried to.
That's what I'm gonna do at home.
You got it. I want to say, to me, it kind of was like London. It was like the river.
Just put it black, just put it.
The color on the black.
Next Wednesday is the last class of the month. Then we start up again. Not according to the class.
Oh, okay.
Well,
That was that.
this is me. This is me. I was this color.
But when I looked at the website for this other one,
Yeah, it started feeling like a bird, but I didn't make it that way. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not real good, but I'm just colors not perfect.
Rose, no class, it's a great picture.
Anyway.
Great. All right, do we have any more oil pastels? I want to close this box up.
I gotta watch the brushes.
Turn me your oil pastel. Have you done?
No.
Robin, you brought all your back. Thank you. Susan, you have any oil pastel?
No. You want me, I'm gonna wash your brushes, okay?
Yeah. And the two bathrooms over on this side, so.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And Autumn has a class on Tuesday afternoons on service. So if you enjoy this, come to that.
We all check that out. Mom, you wanted to go to class on Tuesday? If you want me.
Sure.
Please. Excuse me.
Now I gotta figure out how we're gonna get that on the bus.
Everybody return the watercolor boxes.
Yeah.
You
Clean that away.
You keep the tape off.
Yes.
Laura's in charge of that.
Yeah. I'll do it.
All right. You're right. Let me
Thank
you. I can hold it. I'm awesome too.
Proud of it right now.
Oh, it's in this out.
Yes.
Then I see, oh, the cats.
Right up. If you get on out here and go down, you can be in the back and wait. Yeah. And that way. Oh, he's been on break, so. he's
Lot of dots. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I like that he's black and white against the color.
that's blue.
I like that right here. I like something that's sweet like that. Black and white image against the color. Or dots. It was like a person, yeah, it was black and white and all of and color. Black and white.
The dinner.
Yeah.
But.
Black and white, when you want to. What
Oh, I
it
think
means,
you're right.
it could be. That black and white is like.
Only.
Black or white is here. And the world is full of color and like vibrancy and everything, he's the truth. Maybe that's in the color worlds, you know. Outside of yourself is all truth, but seeing a lot. Maybe that's what it means. I used to play one. But I like the black and white. With animals, it's absolutely have some kind of color. Just do a search. Right? Maybe it's your own. We make yourself gray, like ice and water. You really get snapped. You snapped out. You didn't tell me that why it's about it, but I got snapped out. I know the best. Lots of color, love it. And you also medicine. Well, thank you all. This third month. Right there, when I read it down the line, I did sound great. Yeah. So a lot of yachts are Liz, thank you so much.
Oh, Robin, thank you so much for coming. That's challenge. Or something. So we are calling it a day here at the Hoboken Library. Thank you to all who attended. We will be meeting next week with another artist who uses bright color and light and dark. Perfect. Perfect for these dark days of the month of December. And I hope everyone is in the holiday mood and doing art to help yourselves get through these hectic days. Art on, everyone. I will see you all soon. Thank you for joining us with Art with Liz. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Down.